My name is Marjo Theije. I'm a Dutch anthropologist. I teach anthropology at the VU University in Amsterdam, and I am also the coordinator of GOMIAM, the GOMIAM project, which is GOMIAM from gold mining Amazon, but the official name of the project is Small-Scale Gold Mining and Social Conflict in the Amazon, comparing states, environments, local populations and miners in Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, Peru and Suriname. The question is, what is the main cause? Then I would say that the main cause of conflict is that there is conflicts between the state and small-scale miners. And sometimes this also can be between large-scale miners and small-scale miners. Then state and large-scale mining companies often take the same position in their relation to small-scale gold miners. And this position is that small-scale gold miners are considered as illegal, informal, destructing the natural environment. There are a bunch of irregular people, there's a lot of prostitution, there are, in many countries they're treated as if they are criminals, and this all contributes, of course, to an attitude towards small-scale mining and towards small-scale miners that contains many conflictuous elements already. When we started to do our research, we focused on the aspect of formalization, because we thought that the main reason for the problems of small-scale gold mining was that it's not formalized in these countries. But we soon found that, or in the course of our work, we found that formalization is not at the root of the problem, because before you can start a process of formalization, you need to take away distrust and different or wrong opinions about the position of each other. A criminalized small-scale miner will not so easily have contacts with representatives of the state to start a process of formalization, simply because he thinks that whatever these people want to do with him, it won't be for his benefit. It will be, to take him away from this activity that is his economic, the source of his livelihood, the source of the financial aid to his family, etc. One of the most common types of conflicts in small-scale mining is when there are conflicting claims to the ore, to the mineral-rich soils. In our GOMIAM project of small-scale gold mining, we have many examples of such conflicting claims. This can take many forms. For example, when there are traditional claims, customary claims by local populations in relation to the claims based on concession rights that are acquired through regional or national governments. One of our clearest examples of conflicting claims is in Suriname, where in the territory of a Maroon community who are miners, small-scale miners, there is also a large-scale mine, the only large-scale mine in Suriname at the moment. And this situation is evolving over the years. At first, local community members were allowed to have their small-scale mining activities on the concession, But then as the large-scale mine moves through the concession also behind the richest veins, they come at a moment that the location of the small-scale miners is not the location that they would allow. So there's a constant common goal. There is also, of course, they are kind of allowed to work there, but they don't have the official right given to them by the large-scale mine to mine there. Because the large-scale mines say, no, it's not our right to give concessions. That is something that the government should do. And the government doesn't give these licenses to the small-scale miners. So it's a very unclear situation, and only for that reason, or for that reason alone, it's also very prone to create conflict. This lack of clarity about who has claims and who has the right to specific natural resources can be caused also for not by a lack of laws, a lack of clear regulation, but also by conflicting laws on different levels, for example. And that's what we found in our Brazilian case, where state law, regional law, local law all seem to conflict, and you can have claims according to one rule, but they are not valid if you look at another level. So this would be also, or this is also some of the main common types of conflicts surrounding small-scale mining. Small-scale gold mining is increasing, is growing in Latin America, and therefore Latin American governments are increasingly forced to develop policies and strategies to avoid and mitigate small-scale mining conflicts. And in most countries they have similar strategies to that. They try to regulate the sector. Several countries we see processes of formalization of small-scale mining activities. In other places we see that mining is prohibited, miners are evicted from certain areas. Then we come back to this different claims on natural resources, conflicting claims on natural resources, and mining, small-scale miners that lose the game. Let's call it like that. And that is especially the case when they have to deal with large-scale mining. That's also the case when they have to do with natural resources, natural parks, and for example, when there is tourism or claims for protection, natural protection, environmental protection. In the case of eviction and prohibition in certain territories, we come back to this conflict that I mentioned before between large-scale mining and small-scale mining, which we have this case in our case study in our project of Suriname. And what we see then is that the government also withdraws kind of from the problem. And this is something we see in other countries too. The government leaves the problem for the large-scale mine and the small-scale miners to resolve among themselves. And this can have many different results. In Suriname, it had as a result that small-scale miners were allowed by the company to work on the concession that was granted to the company, but in certain parts of the concession and for a limited number of people, limited time period, and it was always kind of a favor done by the company to the small-scale miners, and it would never turn into a formal right granted to them by the government. So it was never something that turned into an official rule. In all cases of government policies in relation to small-scale mining, we observe that when there is no contact, no knowledge of government officials and policymakers with the local situation, then and when local populations are not granted rights also to be part of the decision making in relation to the use of their territory, then we see that any policy, any process of formalization, any process of regulating the sector is doomed to fail.